Have you ever tried to heal someone, only to end up breaking yourself? Imagine this: you're a psychiatrist, trained to help others navigate their trauma. But what happens when a patient walks into your office, not just scarred on the outside, but hiding something darker beneath, something that begins to peel back the layers of your own damaged mind? Welcome to the twisted world of Clinical, a psychological thriller that plays with memory, fear, and the terrifying question, can you trust your own mind? In this video, we'll take you deep into the chilling story of Dr. Jane Mathis, a psychiatrist trying to rebuild her life after a violent attack by a former patient. She wants peace, control, and clarity. But all of that shatters when Alex, a new patient with a damaged face and a more damaged past, enters her life. We'll break down the entire plot, explore the disturbing twists, and reveal hidden details that even many fans missed. Was Jane losing her mind, or was she being manipulated? And how does a bloody face, a forgotten name, and a broken mind all connect? Welcome to Movies Review, where we uncover the darkest corners of the cinema. Hit that subscribe button and stay with us until the end. You won't believe how deep this rabbit hole goes. We meet Dr. Jane Mathis in the aftermath of trauma. She was once a confident, well-regarded psychiatrist, but everything changed the day one of her patients attacked her during a therapy session. That patient was Nora Green, a teenager struggling with deep psychological scars. During a session, Nora suddenly turned violent, stabbing Jane and leaving her physically and mentally scarred. Now, Jane is trying to move on, but her life is far from stable. She suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, and her days are carefully structured. She avoids patients with intense or unstable conditions and instead works with low-risk clients. Her nights are haunted by vivid nightmares and sleep paralysis, and she often finds herself reliving the attack. Her support system includes her own therapist, Dr. Terry, and her new boyfriend, Miles, a local police officer. But even with this safety net, Jane is fragile. She's isolated, tightly wound, and haunted by memories she tries to suppress. The film uses quiet scenes, muted lighting, and eerie silence to show her disconnection from the world around her. Her mind is a glass house, intact but vulnerable. And that's when Alex enters the story. Alex is unlike any patient Jane has seen before. His face is severely scarred from a car accident, and he wears a prosthetic mask to hide the damage. But it's not just his appearance that makes Jane hesitate. There's something unsettling in his voice, something carefully composed, and yet not quite right. He asks Jane for help processing his trauma. He claims the accident destroyed his life and that therapy is his last resort. Jane initially turns him away. She knows her limits and doesn't want to risk another emotionally intense case. But Alex is persuasive. He insists that he needs her, specifically. He says he's researched therapists and believes she's the only one who can help him. Against her better judgment and with encouragement from her own therapist, Jane accepts Alex as a patient. At first, things seem manageable. Alex opens up slowly. He talks about the accident, about losing control, about shame. But something doesn't add up. His descriptions feel oddly detached, clinical, almost rehearsed. And Jane starts noticing strange coincidences. Objects in her house move, doors creak open at night, her dreams become darker. Then she sees Nora again. Jane begins to unravel. She starts having vivid hallucinations. She sees Nora, her former attacker, outside her window, in her dreams, even in her office. But that shouldn't be possible. Nora was institutionalized. She shouldn't be anywhere near Jane. As Jane continues her sessions with Alex, the boundaries between her reality and her past start to blur. She's no longer sure if what she's seeing is real or imagined. She finds blood on her clothes, her therapy notes get rewritten, her pills go missing. It's as if someone or something is slowly dismantling her sanity. She asks her boyfriend Miles to look into Nora's whereabouts. When he does, the answer is terrifying. Nora has been released. That's right, the girl who stabbed her is now back in the world, free, and Jane is sure she's being watched. She installs cameras in her home. She starts carrying a weapon. Her therapist insists she's experiencing trauma-induced paranoia, but Jane knows better. Something is happening, something she can't explain. As her connection with Alex deepens, she starts seeing a pattern, his trauma and hers. They're too similar, too overlapping. And just as she begins to question his story, he disappears. Everything falls apart. Jane's home is broken into. Her therapist is attacked. She discovers disturbing footage on her hidden cameras. Someone has been watching her sleep. Then comes the breaking point. Jane is lured into a confrontation with Nora. It's chaotic, bloody, and terrifying. She stabs her in self-defense, believing she's finally putting an end to the nightmare. But after the act, everything changes. Police arrive. Jane is confused, disoriented, covered in blood. The body she thought was Nora is now someone else entirely. Jane is institutionalized, declared unstable and dangerous. Everyone believes she's finally cracked under the weight of her trauma, but the truth is even darker. From inside the institution, Jane begins to piece things together, and that's when the real horror surfaces. Alex isn't. He's not just a patient. He's a manipulator, a liar, a mastermind. His scars are real, but his story is not. He's been orchestrating everything, planting hallucinations, stalking Jane, breaking into her home, even framing her for murder. Why? Because Alex is Nora's father. He blames Jane for what happened to his daughter. He believes she failed Nora, abandoned her, and ultimately pushed her to madness. His revenge is calculated and monstrous. Destroy Jane from the inside out. Turn her mind into a prison. Make her relive the trauma she thought she escaped. In the film's chilling climax, Alex visits Jane at the institution gloating. But Jane isn't broken, not completely. She fights back, literally. A brutal struggle ends with Jane tearing off his prosthetic face. In a final act of survival, covered in blood, shaking, and finally free from his psychological grip, she collapses. And the screen fades to black. Clinical walks a fine line between psychological depth and over-the-top horror. On one hand, the film delivers strong tension and an unnerving atmosphere. Vanessa Shaw's performance as Jane is layered and believable. Her breakdown feels gradual, earned, and terrifyingly realistic. The film also does a good job of showing how unresolved trauma can warp perception, memory, and trust. The hallucinations aren't just for scare, they're rooted in Jane's PTSD, making them feel more disturbing. But the film's biggest weakness? The pacing. The final act is so packed with twists, Nora's release, Alex's true identity, Jane's institutionalization, that it becomes hard to follow. Some viewers felt the story lost control and relied too heavily on shock value. Still, the core themes of guilt, revenge, and psychological manipulation land hard. And the twist that the villain was a grieving father all along adds emotional complexity. Clinical is not your typical horror movie. It's more of a slow-burn psychological thriller with bursts of graphic violence and mind games. If you like movies that explore mental illness, trauma, and revenge with a twisted edge, this film might be for you. But if you're looking for a fast-paced, easy-to-follow plot, Clinical might test your patience. It's messy, it's bold, and it dares to blur the line between victim and villain. So, what do you think? Was Jane really healing, or was she unraveling from the start? Was Alex's revenge justified, or just pure evil, masked as grief? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing how you interpret the stories we review. And if you enjoy deep dives into dark, mind-bending films, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. More twisted tales are coming your way right here on Movies Review. Until next time.